The Matrix of Illusion 3, No Way Back. Epigram. Trinity. But you're out, Cypher. You can't go back. Cypher. Oh no, that's what you think. They're going to reinsert my body. I go back to sleep, and when I wake up, I won't remember a goddamn thing. From the movie The Matrix. There is an old saying from Western culture that tells us a great lie. Ignorance is bliss. The truth of the matter is more like an understanding of the three principles is bliss. But there is a curious thing that can sometimes happen. I have seen this phenomenon occurring many times over the past 10 years. People get an exposure of how we create our own reality via the power of mind, consciousness and thought. They make some progress in their lives, but they still go back and do things that they would rather not do. There is one simple answer to this. There is hearing, and then there is hearing. As Sydney Banks always reminded us, the first of these two is simply an intellectual understanding, which really takes us nowhere. The second is a deep and meaningful hearing from beyond the words of this world, and bypasses the intellect altogether, because it has nothing to do with the intellect. It is a feeling deep within our soul. Once this deeper hearing occurs, there is no going back. Something can take us to the door, but once we have truly walked through it into a three principles event, our lives will never be the same again. There is a part of us that has decided that it is time to unplug and let go, even if, like me, you had no idea what it was you were about to participate in. Once engaged, there is a part of us that knows it is the right thing to do, to wake up from the dream of life and begin to see the real world. The one that is created by us in this living moment, not by something that is coming from outside our control, like some giant guiding mechanical hand. We begin to see that we are in control of our own lives. One of the great jokes that Dr. Roger Mills invariably liked to play on his audience was to tell them that it was too late for them. The initial response would be perplexed faces. Then, with his inimitable chuckle, he would add something to the effect of, "What I mean by that is that you cannot unhear what I have shared with you. Now you know how you create your own reality, you can no longer go on living as you did." This was always followed by a good amount of laughter. It would seem that once outside the clutches of our old lives, there is really no way back in. We can revisit thoughts that take us down the sometimes dark alleys and pathways of our mind, but we can no longer live with the horror of our past gripping us in the way it used to. Once we have seen, even partially past the illusion that we created about the life we have lived, we are unplugged and thus set free from it. We see who we thought we were when we innocently believed that life was happening to us, and that we were simply victims to the circumstances of our lives. Then it begins to emerge who we really are. That reality is created in the moment-to-moment living of our lives, and then the old life simply dies. The problems and difficulties that we used to experience, that seemed so important and serious at one time, mostly stop showing up on our personal radar. When they do make the occasional appearance, we see them for what they really are. Illusion, created in the vast universe of our inventive imagination. This personal realization is such a huge relief to our general experience of life, because we can now live it free from the bonds and traps that personal thinking can create. We unplug from a reality that we thought was fixed and outside of us, and start living the one created from the inside out. Interestingly, although life does not become perfect, and the ups and downs still arise, we will still face things we find uncomfortable or disturbing. But it is more the fact that we see where the turbulence of living our lives comes from. Sometimes, when we are caught in the throes of these experiences, we may not be able to escape them. For the unstoppable power of consciousness will always make our thinking appear real to us. But somewhere in the back of our mind, we will always know this will not last. This simple yet profound shift in consciousness points us in a new and clear direction towards freedom of mind. Being unplugged from the matrix of illusion, we begin to operate at a new level of existence. And though we are now trapped on the outside of our old life, where we previously felt life was being done to us, we can look back with greater understanding. It is the first genuine step towards a life of pure consciousness or psychological freedom, the depths of which we never dreamed were possible. Because once experienced, the three principles takes us to a new place of presence. It is like being transported through time and arriving in the present moment. And when we get here, it is usually accompanied with a deeply beautiful feeling of homeliness. No way back becomes the most liberating experience we are ever likely to have in our lives. Letting go of the old simply happens to us. It just falls away, sometimes like an avalanche, at an insuppressible pace. We begin to see the endless possibilities of a life truly worth living. We become new once more.